Everybody ready? Y'all gonna share with the rest of the class? Y'all ready? Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started this evening. This is the Manvel Planning and Development and Zoning Commission meeting for March 25th. It is 6:02, so we will start with roll call. See Ryan Miller, that's me, I am here. Kyle Maraskin.
Here.
Mary Ann Atkinson.
Here.
Kenneth Haynes will not be able to join us tonight. Neither will Christy Kennard. Dolores Martin.
Present.
And William Richardson.
Here.
Thank you. If I can get a Okay, thank you. Okay, so to start off, it looks like we don't have any public comment cards. So we will roll right into the public hearing. So read this first. So the public hearing is to hear input from the public regarding an ordinance of the city of Manvel, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the city by amending the zoning classification of 457 acres of land generally located east of State Highway 288, north of Highway 6, generally south of Del Bello Boulevard, and west of Farm to Market 1128, from single-family residential district to planned unit development, or PUD, to planned unit development PUD with amendments to the Valencia planned unit development, providing for the amendment of the city's official zoning map, providing for severability, and providing a penalty in an amount not to exceed $2,000 for each day of violation of any provision hereof. Okay, and we'll open the public hearing at 6:04. Do I have any public comments for the hearing? And second call for comments. And final call for comments for the public hearing. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this is appropriate. I'm just was confused about where it says the amount not to exceed $2,000 each day for violation. What is the violation that they're speaking of?
That'd be, if there was a violation, that would be for the applicant if they decided to do something that was outside of their current requirements.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, we'll close the, one sec. We'll close the public hearing then at 6:04. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was just wanted to know what the difference between these two PUDs were.
They're just proposing some changes to the PUD. So, and we'll get into a discussion about a little later. Okay, so we will close that hearing at 6:04. And then we'll move on to the regular part of the agenda, starting with the consent agenda. We have two items on there. Approve the preliminary plat for Valencia, Section 13, and approve the meeting minutes to date. Is everybody good with what's there? Do we want to pull anything out? No? Then can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second. And all those in favor? Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Okay. Agenda item A, consideration and possible action to approve Meridiana General Development Plan Amendment number 23, dated February 28th, 2024. Who wants to give us the skinny on this one?
Yeah, I'll do that. Evan Duvall, Acting Zoning Administrator for the City of Manvel. Wait, sorry, I was prepared for just 1 second. I'd like to thank you all for being here while I scroll through this staff report. So this is the number 23 GDP amendment for Meridiana, and I'm going to go over the changes. There are not very many in this. I do want to mention that we had a minor update that dealt with the recommended condition in the staff report, as well as added more connectivity between the areas on on the map of, sorry, it's loading, 18 and 17 on the map. Sorry, just one second. I need to, next time I'll compress these files so they're not so big. Just 1 second. I apologize, I was ready for another item. Oh, we're almost there. Okay. I finally got into my staff report. Okay, so this amendment is basically coinciding with the planned unit development update that we're doing that's at council currently. The main updates to this GDP are garden homes. The new area being added is shown as garden homes within this development. There's 2 patio home areas that were discussed during the PUD amendment, section 25A and 25B, and these will be patio home locations. In terms of the subdivision, there's an option for private streets and also gated subdivisions with those private streets for sections 5, 7, 9, 15A, 15B, 15C, 16, 24A, 24B, and 26A. So that could be private streets or gated subdivisions. The last thing is they are showing the realignment, just like the PUD, of Clark Road and Jordan Road. Staff recommends conditional approval of this number 3 GDP amendment. And it's now dated March 2024. And like I said before, the difference between that is just some minor text edits and satisfying condition 1, which was previously revise the GDP to reflect the modification of the planned unit development. They've done that. And also they added more connectivity for section 18 and 17, which is in the kind of the northeast corner of the site. Staff recommends approval. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. That was,
I have some questions.
please go ahead.
Garden homes, duplexes.
So they're
I
not,
mean, it's all the same, it's just a fancier word for duplex, right?
no, garden homes are going to be, and it's just the area that's being added to this that was approved in the PUD. It's approximately 30 acres, and it's just 50-foot wide lots, single-family homes, not duplexes.
They're not together, sharing.
They're not
a
together.
common-
They're just single-family homes with 50-foot width.
Okay. Is it going to be, or do we know if this is going to be like a lease to own, a rental?
They're not
or-
allowed. They're not allowed to do lease to own.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so these are going to be homes, but not duplexes, not apartments, not anything like that?
That's correct. Just single-family homes.
So garden homes are garden homes, not patio homes,
That's
because
correct.
there's 2 different things.
Yes.
Exactly, but
And
it
that's
all
what-
comes
yeah.
under the same,
Because if they're the same thing, they exceed what they're doing in their layout.
Yeah, they're not the same thing. So garden homes are single-family residences, and then patio homes are patio homes.
So that's guaranteed, Dan?
So this is part of their zoning that y'all just went through? Right. So they, if they wanted to change it, then they'd have to come back for a zoning amendment. Right.
Okay.
So that's why we're trying to hard code it. They didn't actually have the patio home title before, or excuse me, garden home. They didn't have the garden home title before. So that's what they're adding for these. And these are just the ones that would be around the old haddock pond, that specific area. That's what they're recommending to do, or
And-
proposing to do.
Just remind me what the definition is of the other type then are those like the 0 lot line?
Evan, do you have the
Patio homes
the
versus garden
PUD definition of what the patio homes versus the garden homes would be?
Yeah, let me pull that up.
zero-line homes, meaning single-family home built on separate lot with building setbacks
There you go.
on the front and rear and side. Garden home is just another name for patio homes,
That is,
which these are patio homes. Patio homes are usually consisted of 1 stories versus 2.
yeah, let me pull up the definition. I'm sorry. My computer, for some reason, is like really slow today. Every time else, it's very fast, but today. All right. So Garden Home is a detached, single-family product with a minimum lot width of 50 feet and the minimum lot area of 6,300 square feet. And then patio homes are detached, single-family dwelling units that feature a 0-foot side setback on one of the interior lot lines. And there are single-story or cottage-style homes with a minimum lot width of 45 feet and a minimum lot area of 4,500 square feet. And two-story patio homes, that can happen as well, as long as they have a minimum lot 50-foot width and as well as that 5,000 square feet. So if they go 2 stories, they actually have to increase the size of their lots.
Okay. What other questions? Any? No? Motions?
So moved.
And a second? And all those in favor? Motion passes 4 to opposed, 1, 4 to 1.
And that was approved with condition? Didn't you have a condition, Evan? Did you
The
say?
condition was satisfied with the March 24 update that we just got. Could we amend that approval to approve the March 2024 edition of the GDP that was just submitted to us? And I briefed the changes that did.
Okay, so our motion is to,
Approve the March 2024 GDP for Meridiana.
that was March 24.
24.
Yeah, 2024.
Amended. Second? All those in favor of the amended motion? 4, and all those opposed? To 1. So motion passes 4 to 1 as amended. Cover everything? Okay. Okay, agenda item B, consideration and possible action to approve Meridiana Section 26A preliminary plat.
This proposed plat is a new residential section within Meridiana Master Plan. Subject site is located within the city of Manvel and Mod 57. Proposed plat subdivides a 9.34 acre tract into 34 residential lots, 2 blocks, and 3 reserves. Proposed lot is located along the southeastern side of South Inspiration Way, abutting proposed Section 8. Proposed section includes single-family residential lots with minimum 55-foot lot width. The section includes 50-foot wide right-of-ways. So staff recommends conditional approval with this condition, provide drainage district approval of a preliminary drainage plan.
Okay, thank you very much. What questions? Anybody have? No questions?
Well, I see it doesn't have drainage approval,
Yeah, that looks like they have a
which is
condition.
the next item as well.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
guess my biggest question is, since it is a city requirement, why are we even looking at these until drainage? Is it due to when they meet?
Is that just a timing issue?
Yeah, it's a timing issue, and most of the time, the drainage plan is approved. Typically now, a preliminary plat approved, and then they submit their construction plans, including their drainage plans, for approval to the districts. So it's kind of now engineering kind of course, preliminary, and then they do construction plans, including drainage. So it's just kind of just how engineering's done now with subdivisions. Because the preliminary plat is kind of a basic layout, and then you finalize all the details with the construction plans.
But isn't that kind of putting the horse before the cart?
It's not. They do their preliminary drainage calculations, and it's not going to be like a drastic change from like 10 times the amount. It's going to be very close. So it's just going to be minor changes. And if there is a major change, that's why the final plat process is there. So.
Okay.
And Dan,
Thank-
you're comfortable with that?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we changed this, the requirement a couple of years ago, but Meridiana's sort of vested, I guess, with some of the old nomenclature. But what we allow them to do now is that they have to submit it to the drainage district, not necessarily get the approval. I mean, they have to get the approval, but that way our process, our 30-day process can keep going. So the requirements for every development, I guess, other than Meridiana, which that's going to get changed, right, with the new GDP. So it's still, there's still a little bit of a window where we just have to caveat the approval with this.
Goes to 4 or 3?
Theirs actually goes to 5 for Meridiana. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Excellent. Any additional questions? Any motions then?
So moved.
And second?
With condition.
With conditions?
With
Yes.
conditions?
Yeah.
And all those in favor? And all those opposed? None. So motion passes 5-0 with conditions. And agenda item C, consideration and possible action to approve Meridiana Detention Reserve Y preliminary plat.
So this proposed plat is for a detention facility within Meridiana Master Plan Development. Proposed plat includes 10.06 acres tracts into one block and one reserve for detention, landscaping, open space, recreation, and utility purposes. The proposed site is located along the western side of South Inspiration Way, abutting proposed sections 7 and 10. Preliminary and final plats for the proposed section were previously submitted and approved in 2021 and 2022. Since previous approval, the applicant has made changes to boundary of the subdivision and therefore has submitted this revised plat. Staff recommends approval of Meridiana Detention Reserve Y preliminary plat with one condition, which is provide drainage district approval of a preliminary drainage plan.
Okay, thank you very much. So very similar to the last one. Any additional questions for this one? No? Motions in?
I'll make a motion to approve with conditions.
Second.
And all those in favor? And motion passes 5-0. Okay. Agenda item D, consideration possible action to approve and forward with recommendation to City Council Ordinance 2024-0-12, which was the public hearing from this evening for, hold on, who would like to?
All right, so I know how to use the monitors now, so that's been proven today. I want to say that we are working on getting our notice to be a little more clear, as well as maybe providing a QR code in the future for these large amendments that, have like, I know we did a one-page summary that when people called us, we'd email, but we were working on getting that a little more clear so that it's just more understandable what's going on. The main reason for the Valencia PUD development is that they are adding 18.6 acres to the development, and that's just off of Charlotte Street going easterly toward the subdivision to the east. What is that called? It's not Blue Water Lakes, but Lakeland. There we go. So it's kind of filling in the gap that this development had between that and this development. It's right over here. You can kind of see my mouse. So in terms of the changes, I'll just go through and kind of outline the changes that they're doing with this modification. So they're adding that acreage, the 18.6 acres. They're also modifying a portion of property that's near this lake, kind of in the center. It's on the southeast corner of Pollard and Charlotte Street. And essentially, they're adding a small commercial tract right here in this area.
Sorry, what area?
It's right here. It's a southeast corner of Charlotte and Pollard Street.
Okay.
You can kind of see my mouse moving. It's right by the detention lake. I think it's called Lake B, is where that's located. There's also some modifications to the signage. They're looking at doing kind of a revision to their primary entry monuments, the secondary entry monuments. And these are typical that you find with these kind of planned developments is these entry monuments. And the applicant is here if you have any questions about signage in terms of entry monuments and secondary entry monuments, they could add some clarification. They're also adding a kind of a temporary sales sign of a maximum of 64 square feet as part of their signage amendment. They're adding some temporary community signs, and some of those will be on, 2 will be on Highway 6. They're requesting for 4, up to 4 on Pollard, and then also up to 4 additional signs on DeBello streets. And that would basically kind of lead people to the subdivision, and it is kind of tucked away into the kind of inner core of Manvel. The next thing is that Section C8, which is the single-family section that's being added, is going to have a double entry or double wide entrance that operates as kind of ingress and egress to the subdivision. It's going to match the adjacent subdivision, and it's on a curve. So that's just kind of shown, it's right here. Kind of a double boulevard over here. There's also with the previous amendment, the drill site was next to that Lake B. This is designated in the new amendment right here as a drill site or open space. I do want to mention that the city of Manvel has very strict oil and gas regulations. And if a drill site is located within 2,000 feet of a residence, they actually can't go there by right. They have to go before city council and get a variance. So even though it may show as drill site on the plans, it's not approved here. It'd have to go before city council for approval. So I don't think they'd be likely to approve that, but it would have to get a variance through city council. The other kind of modifications are just minor. I have a clarification of the parkland dedication requirements. They have the ratio of on the document of basically 1 acre for every 100 proposed single-family lots. They're giving their 11 acres of parkland in this development. That's not changing. It's just more clarifying that. And again, they added some specialty exhibits for the zero lot line and zipper lot homes, which is a very minor portion of this development. That's the kind of summary. In terms of the staff, we're recommending approval of this modification to the planned unit development because it meets the goals of the city and also remains this as majority single-family residences. Please let me know if you have any questions, and we have the applicant here to speak about anything.
Okay, so easy question first. Where in here is the, like the garden or patio style homes? Which section was that in again?
So, and this hasn't really changed. There's these kind of brownish sections are the ones that were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, it's on. Sorry about that. It's this brownish color.
Okay. Okay, very good. And then so maybe this is a better question for the applicant. Is this commercial site here, what do you foresee going in this commercial site?
Likely some sort of neighborhood use, since it's near or close to the proximity of the schools. You know, I'm not a commercial retail person, but a dentist office or orthodontist office would be great. But it could be seen as a retail use of some kind, but just something that's going to be neighborhood oriented.
Okay.
But you have no control over who moves into it.
Well, we have control over who we sell it to. At the same time, in our development agreement in PUD, the city actually has control, and those buyers would have to come to you all for an SUP at that time to request permission. So
any of our standard commercial.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
and it'd be standard retail, kind of a light commercial or neighborhood commercial uses are permitted there.
And so for the drill sites here, basically that will remain open green space?
Correct, yes.
How far from the nearest house that'll be built is that drill site?
The drill site, well, and again, just for clarification, it's just open land. So it's not like we're building the drill site or anything like that. It's just open land, and it would be as close as we're effectively swapping the locations, because the location currently is at the southeast corner of Charlotte and Pollard, kind of right there where he's got his cursor, right where that new commercial tract is. We're merely trying to swap those locations just to get a better use of that commercial corner. And again, it wouldn't be any closer than it already was right there at that corner.
And it's actually a nice parcel. It has the amenity Lake B behind it. So hopefully it's something very nice neighborhood commercial.
Much more marketable. And then again, that drill site would be, open space effectively. You drive by it, you wouldn't even, what is that? And no one would know it's a drill site.
Russ, could you kind of explain it to them like you did with me as far as, I think it goes back to mineral rights, essentially, surface rights versus mineral rights, and you have to kind of leave a spot for them to, if they ever wanted to get, to bring those rights up, I guess, so to speak, those minerals up.
Sure, yeah. So, we're in Texas, and there's a bunch of folks in the past that had land, and they also retained the mineral rights to those, the minerals. And when we came and purchased this land from Andrew Sowell and his family, much of the mineral owners retained the mineral rights beneath the land. And as such, we ended up dedicating a 4-acre drill site on the off chance that they were ever allowed to drill beneath and capture those minerals. The city of Manvel has a really strict ordinance on drilling rights, basically not allowing drilling anywhere near 2,000 feet of a structure. And so it really renders those sites unusable for drilling activity. But if for whatever reason 100 years from now someone could come along and maybe convince council of some kind to drill, nevertheless what that site does is it just allows them to, if they were ever able to extract those minerals at that location. And it's not to say that another location way off the map here isn't potentially used at some point to directionally drill underneath this particular land by those mineral owners if they're given right to do that.
Okay. And like you said, this drill site already exists in your plan. You're just moving it from, kind of swapping it from where that
That is
square
exactly
to the gray
correct.
square.
Yes.
And it's just going to be open, correct? As far as it's not fenced off or anything?
Not fenced off, nope.
Okay.
Just a field of grass, if you will. And, we've made commitments to the city that it wouldn't be, it would be something where we would likely put up a couple of soccer goals. It'd be great for just an open field area. So.
It would be great for a wildlife area, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlotte, so with this too, Charlotte now will be completed by Hillwood
So
as part of the 380 agreement.
if you want to touch on that,
Sure, yeah. So this does contemplate completing Charlotte. Again, we've got to go through the 380 to sort of memorialize that. But the idea would be to complete and enhance that mobility to complete Charlotte through there.
And so how would that work exactly with like the section that's technically within Lakeland there? Because
yes.
is it? Yeah, because
those are the details we're working out.
Okay.
We can certainly do the part that we have. We're working to figure out a way to make that happen too, and hopefully closer to an agreement on that than we were.
and I do want to mention that Lakeland kind of stop the street construction at the intersection where the ingress and egresses for the subdivision were. So there's a big gap that we're trying to work through and get connected if possible.
Yeah. What other questions do y'all have?
Yeah, let's talk drainage. Because looking at this, it looks like there's quite a few points where it drains out, if the lakes drain out. I'm not going to say they will, because it's back and forth. And it also depends on if we have, like, say, Harvey, 52 inches, 54, whatever everybody got. My thing is, when you go back to, say, the EO2 at the top on that drainage, where does that actually go if it does drain out?
And that's,
What drainage ditch is that?
that's this part, that commercial
Yeah.
track.
So that gets piped through Del Bello and then goes eastward and then goes down Pollard and then takes what ends up being a left into one of that first section and then gets dumped into those lakes, and then it's detained there and then slowly released into the C12 ditch.
Oh, so you're actually piping that one back? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Some of it goes that way, and then we've got a little bit going into the DD4 ditch,
Okay.
which is really directly adjacent to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay. Motions?
So moved.
And did we have any conditions on this one?
There were no conditions.
No, okay, I didn't think so. Second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, agenda item E, consideration and possible action to direct staff to provide applicants written statements of conditions for any conditional approvals, the reasons for any disapprovals of plans or plats that were not approved per Texas Local Government Code 212.0091. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to accept.
Okay. She can. I'll do the second.
Second, okay. All those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. And then can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
And second? And all in favor? And motion passes 5-0. It's always never a surprise. Thank you, everybody, for coming by.